Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my DNC experience, my little DNC story. I did have a DNC, dilation and curettage, as a result of losing my baby last month. It was an elective DNC. My body probably would have kicked in soon with everything happening, but I decided that I didn't want to see anything happening. I was terrified of what I would see if I let my body do this on its own. I'm normally pro like let your body do what it's gonna do, and then use medical industry as necessary. But this time around, it was just more emotionally. I just wanted to fall asleep and wake up when it was all over with. As I went in for surgery, there was nothing really special I had to do, just typical hospital procedure, surgery prep. I was asleep for it, which was nice. When I came out of surgery, I didn't really want to wake up. I think partially due to the fact that my body just didn't want to come out of the anesthesia, and partially was it was emotional for me. I didn't emotionally want to wake up. I wanted to allow myself to just kind of sleep a little while longer, as bad as that may sound. But once I was up, I did okay. My husband was with me the whole time. He was in full support of the decision. After surgery, I was pretty sore for a few days. I could feel like my lower stomach muscles just kind of very weak. I couldn't pick up anything. I was told to not lift anything for about 2-3 days. And then after that, as I felt like I could handle it, so I spent about 3 days just kind of allowing my body to rest. Even if I felt like I had some strength, I didn't allow myself to do anything for at least 3 days. After that, I slowly started doing stuff again with the help of my husband. I started to get into our routine again. It's a new school year, so a lot of the school activities were coming up. We are a homeschooling family, so just getting back into the groove of things with all of that. About 4 days after my surgery, I started to notice some clotting, which I didn't say anything at first because I thought that it was more so due to the fact that I had just had a surgery and I had done a lot of activity over the course of a couple days, and I just thought that was just kind of related to that. And I mean, you know how it is, like when you're as a woman, like usually the higher activities, the more you bleed, just kind of stuff related to that. 3 days later, I noticed some more clotting, and that's when I told my husband. I actually ended up in the emergency room. I was told that this was not normal to be bleeding this much after a DNC. I should have only been bleeding for a few days, and then I should have been done. However, I got into the emergency room. They did an ultrasound. It showed that there was still some tissue left over from the surgery that my body just had to pass. So I ended up being able to let that pass. I did take a medication to help the next day, but I don't think it worked very well. Honestly, it just made me feel kind of not good for a few hours, but I think my body would have just done it on its own, so I wish I wouldn't have had to take that additional medication. And then I am now 3.5, almost 4 weeks post-op. I am still bleeding quite a bit, more than I've been told I should, so I am waiting to get into a checkup, but at this point I think it's all just normal. I've heard from like friends and family that sometimes this just happens, just kind of depends on the DNC and where you're at, and just kind of the way my body's reacting to it. So I feel like at this point it is pretty normal to be doing this. So it's light, it's not bad, but it's not going away, and every once in a while I'll notice an increase in blood flow. But again, at this point, I don't feel lightheaded. I don't feel weird at all. I feel like it pretty much just feels like I'm on my period for a prolonged period of time. So if I start to get lightheaded or feel off, then I'll let my doctor know again. But at this point, I just want to let it go, or just kind of let my body do what it's going to do. Overall, I'm having a hard time just emotionally postpartum. I know that like immediately after my surgery, during that few days I was recovering, I started to feel a sense of emptiness in my body. Like, even though there was no longer a baby, I was still carrying a baby for about 2 weeks. And so when that was all said and done, I did not expect to completely just cry it out. Like, I was just like devastated in the days immediately after surgery, and just a huge sense of emptiness in my body. And right now I'm like trying to find normal again, and I just feel this really weird like hormonal shift. It's like I'm in a postpartum season, but I'm not in a postpartum season because I don't have a baby with me. And in my mind, like, I didn't think that just because I don't physically have a live baby with me, I have a baby in heaven. That I just, like, in my mind, I'm not in a postpartum season. It feels like more of a post-mortem season, so to speak. So that's been very hard. Like, one minute I feel fine, the next I feel very off and out of sorts. And I think just kind of working through a lot of that has been huge. I'm just trying to get through the grieving process. I know that I'm still very much in a lot of that, and it's just, I've been talking to people about it, women who've gone through this before, women who have had the DNC, or who have had just miscarriage and decided to go another route with going through the miscarriage. So I've received a lot of help and a lot of support. But still, just I feel very off and out of sorts. And I think for some, well, not for some reason, but I wasn't expecting to go through postpartum the way I have been. But from everything I've come to understand, this is just normal. I'm not only going through a postpartum season, but I'm also going through a season of grief, so it makes it that much harder. And even though this was early miscarriage, I mean, you lose a baby, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, you're going to go through a grieving process, and it's hard. And quite honestly, I'm thankful that we lost our baby early instead of later. I can't imagine what many women have to go through in the later stages, because like my heart's completely shattered right now, and just I can't imagine that kind of pain. And if you are or have gone through miscarriage or are going through miscarriage and pregnancy loss, I'm so very, very sorry. Just know that you are not alone in this, and that your baby is with the Lord, and your baby never had to experience this crazy world. And I know that's something I have to be reminded of a lot. My baby is better than all of us, and he or she knows the Lord. And it's a blessing, even though it hurts us right now. It hurts me. Like, my heart again is completely shattered. I'm still on the road to healing, and I don't know what it looks like going forward. All I know is that I'm trying to find normal again, so to speak, and to get into my routine, and to make sure that the children that I have now, I'm showering them with all the love and the joy, and just like I've never had to go through infertility, and that is one thing that I'm definitely blessed that I don't have to deal with. I know that there are so many women who do have infertility, and for me, I've got to go through this knowing I've got my children that I can hold afterwards. So I have so much to be thankful for, but this is hard, and it's something I never want to go through again. I pray that any more, future pregnancies we may or may not have, that we can just have our baby in our arms, because this hurts, and I hate it, and I hate it for anyone who has to go through it. Anyway, that is my story. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, or reach me out on my Instagram. I'll leave it linked down below if you want to have more of a private conversation, not to post it for everyone to see. But yeah, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I do videos focusing on beauty and lifestyle. My goal on this platform is to share my love for beauty, as well as my love for Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and to just share what I'm going through for anyone who may need it, or for myself to maybe find somebody who's also going through it. Again, I don't want to be alone, and I also feel like there's not enough resources available for those who've experienced pregnancy loss. I know I'm struggling with that a lot right now, just trying to find resources. A lot of support, a lot of love and support from women who've gone through this, but the amount of resources out there, I feel like there definitely could be more. But yeah, I hope that this video finds you and you are going through this yourself. I hope that this story can maybe make you feel like you're not alone, or have a couple things make sense. Again, I know for me, none of this process has made a lot of sense to me. I'm just trying to go through it. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.